Hey everybody, it's Ryno here from Tech, and today we're going to have a quick look at the SketchUp 2016 new features. Alright, just a few stats before we start. A lot of growth with SketchUp while they've been with Trumbull since 2012. 35 million unique SketchUp activations since the start, and also the 3D warehouse is very trafficked. So as you can see there, loads of clicks. If you are a manufacturer trying to get your SKP models on the 3D warehouse, people do use them, and also they can click on your models, click on the links, and get taken back to your product pages on your websites and basically just buy the products straight from there. Okay, so first up is the new welcome screen. As you can see that they've changed this a little, and also the start using SketchUp button is a little bit bigger. Alright, and this is the new UI for 2016. You can see there's a new scale figure. Her name's Suzanne. She works in the support team at SketchUp. You'll also notice a higher DPI, so the icons and the graphics is a little bit clearer and bigger. You'll actually see on the left hand side, so a lot of these icons are a little bit bigger. So if you're working on a smaller laptop, for instance, it's just easier to see the icons. And here we have the comparison from 2015 to 2016. Okay, so SketchUp 2016 is also fully compatible with Apple's El Capitan and also the Microsoft Windows 10 operating systems. Alright, so the next feature we're going to be looking at is Trumbull Connect, which is basically an online collaboration platform so you can upload your projects to the cloud. Alright, so here we have Trumbull Connect. As you can see, it's basically just an online cloud service. You create new projects by clicking New Project. You can view the various projects as a list or thumbnails, and you click on New Project, create a new name, and then you can start uploading or publishing models to that project. As you can see, you can also upload various file formats by clicking Upload, and MP3s, JPEGs, SketchUp models, and even layout models. Alright, so here we have one of my projects, and as you can see, you can basically just view it online, zoom in. There's quite a few things you can tools and things you can use at the top here. You can also have a to-do list, maybe any views, clash sets, and any reports that you want to generate off of this model. Right, yes, so finally, just the workflow from this from SketchUp is basically just create your model, you'll save it, and then you can go to extensions. This will be preloaded in 2016, and you can just click Publish Model. It'll load Trumbull Connect. If you're not logged in, you just have to type in your details. It'll come up with your projects, and you can basically just select the one you want, and you can publish it to that. And you'll now have access to this model anywhere around the world as long as you've got an internet connection. Right, next up we have the new customizable utility trays in Windows. So it's these ones on the right hand side. As you can see, it's a little bit easier to work with them now. I can just drag them by holding down the left button on the mouse, and I can either dock it by hovering on these little icons or even these ones in the middle. You'll see you've got the default tray, but you can also right click and you can go to manage trays, and you can start setting up your own trays just by clicking new and selecting the options. I've already done one, so if I click on that, you can see you can toggle between the two, maybe have different ones open, different ones selected. You can also unpin this and it will auto hide, so it completely pops out, and as you just hover on there, it will just shoot out. Right, the next feature is not really a new one, but I do get asked about this a lot. So it's basically just setting up your user interface, how to get these toolbars up. So you can literally just right click on there, and you might just go and select a toolbar. You'll see it adds it, and these can be dragged around. You can dock them in various places, and you'll now notice I think since 2013 these actually do interact, so you can move one onto the other one, drag them closer together, and reorganize them. Right, SketchUp's also done a lot of work in 2016 on the off-axis inferences. So improved parallel perpendicular inference display with the down arrow. So as I hover on various places, you can see if I do hold down Shift or even the down arrow, it starts doing something like this. I can inference, I can then left click, and you can see it's locked. It does actually highlight the edges, and as I start drawing again, it does show me where it's locked in. I'm now currently pressing down the down arrow key. You can see it locks it in that axis. If I press it again, it unlocks it, but if I keep it locked, you can see that it even keeps, it will just basically lengthen, and I can now land up with that face there and bring it back. We also now have improved vector locking, so when you're drawing lines, you can see as I hover on the perpendicular, if I now press the down arrow key, it will pick it up and it will actually extend all the way to the back edge there. We can also inference the center points of circles and arcs easier. Setting up the axes is also made easier in 2016 just by toggling the Alt key on your keyboard, and it will just toggle between the different exact axes. SketchUp 2016 will now recognize intersection points with hidden section planes. So if you do apply, say, a section cut over there, if I just hold down shift, it will keep that angle. So I can just slice through the model. And if I now click, say, on the line tool, you can see it actually snaps to these intersection points as well. In 2016, this will now also work when you hide the section plane, as you can see there. In SketchUp 2016, we'll actually see the team has reworked the material library with all the default materials changing. We've actually got over 400 materials now with better quality textures and images. You can see these have been split up, some new, some sort of reorganized. The new feature with the 3D warehouse is we can now go to a model that we've downloaded off the 3D warehouse, and we can, instead of just doing a normal reload, we can actually go to the 3D warehouse and reload it from there to get the latest release. Okay, for those who are familiar with the generate report feature, in 2015 you'd basically just go to file, go to generate report. You can then select all the model attributes or just the current selection, and you can then generate the CSV file, which basically looks like this. But now in 2016 we can go to generate report, and we can actually go and set up our own template, so just the way we want to see it, with the right attributes shown at the top, and you can actually see the spreadsheet inside SketchUp before exporting it out. Next up, a few layout improvements. So layout cloud references. This means your layout projects can reference and update files that are stored and synced with services like Dropbox or Google Drive or even Trumbull Connect. And also, this is quite big, the new layout API. So we're going to start seeing extensions for layout in the near future, which is very exciting. Here we have the new small dimensions for layout features. So if you're going to apply a normal dimension, you can see it still stays the same. So these bigger ones are not split up. But as soon as I start adding a smaller dimension, you can see automatically layout will add a little leader to it. So I can go and select this leader, I can move it around, stick it over there maybe, or I could even move it to one of these preset destinations. Right, next up is layouts layers. SketchUp's basically improved pretty much everything about layouts layers. Whether you're grouping objects across layers, drawing objects on shared layers, or unearthing the bottom of a stacked viewport, their layers are just plain better. I'm going to leave this slide up. You're welcome to pause and read through. I'm just going to read the bullet points. So multi-layered groups, we got maintaining layers during copy and paste, so basically they stay assigned to the original layers. Move to, so there's an icon for that. Differentiating between shared and non-shared layers, and also layer visibility maintained on new pages. So a lot of new features there with the layout layers, definitely worth having a look at. Another layout improvement is the optimization of the PDF export in layout. So when you do want to export as a PDF, you'll notice that with these SketchUp viewports, you can go and change a few settings in there, but with the PDFs and the JPEGs, you don't really have the control over that. So if you do go and export as a PDF, what they've now done in 2016 is you can go and set the JPEG compression for images. So what I've done is I've basically just gone for better quality all the way to the top and also all the way to the bottom, and the difference between these as well, you'll notice there is quite a lot in the file size. So your PDFs are much smaller, you do lose a little bit of quality, but it's still worth it because you can actually email the file. Alright, and the last feature we're going to be looking at today is the extension security and moderation. So in 2016, users can now control which extensions they want to download just based on the security level. So you've got off, approved, and secure mode. So if we just quickly switch back to SketchUp 2016, you can go and click on the extension warehouse tool where there's loads of free and also paid extensions. You can go and look at the categories and also the industries. So there's various sort of plugins or extensions for you, the top extensions. And as I said, a lot of these ones are controlled now by the settings, so they need to be certified extensions. So you could go to your window, you can go to preferences, and if you go to your security level, that's where you can set up either off, approved mode, or secure mode. Okay, and that's it for all the new features. Next up is just a quick look at marketing and the licensing side of things. So again, just to recap about Trumbull, just remember to have a quick look at Trumbull. It is free. You can start off your own first project. So they do give you one. You can upload your models and obviously view them online in the cloud. Also the SketchUp website, you can go to the Learn section, and also they've got a few training videos and tutorials in there, so you can look at a few more advanced or in-depth videos online. Next up is the SketchUp blog, so the official SketchUp blog. They do loads of little news bits and articles. One of the ones that stood out to me recently was basically just creating models and sticking them on the 3D warehouse, there's a very nice checklist to make sure that your model is up to a good standard. Right, next up also we have the Excitech website, where you can obviously go and get in contact with us for any training or even sales. If you go to our services side, we do have a training schedule in there, so you can basically just go and find any information you need about SketchUp or training or even licenses. And finally is also the CADZulu, my personal blog, where I stick loads of videos and things on as well. So like recently I've basically done a Revit to SketchUp and vice versa, SketchUp to Revit workflow. So there's a few bits and pieces in there, and even installing and licensing. In this case it should be relevant to 2016 as well. So there's a few things that you can have a look at on that site as well. Great, and that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.